Hey, what's good? I'm Isaac Lee, and if you're watching this, then that means just like me, you got through all 4 hours of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. And before I get to that, because we got a lot to cover, just want to bring a little attention to this t-shirt I made. Not really selling merch, but it was just something I was having fun with, but I'll get to that later. Here's the rundown. I didn't really have my expectations too high. When I first came out, I was sold on it. You know, the trailer looked good. It had that Beatles song coming together. I loved it. Everybody else loved it. And then when the movie came out, I and everyone else was disappointed. So when they talked about having the Snyder Cut and it's going to be 4 hours, I was thinking, okay, that's kind of a stretch. But then I thought about Avengers Endgame, how that was 3 hours, and I could sit through that. But that was kind of a build up to that. With 4 hours, I'm like, well, how good could it possibly be? Because I was so disappointed with the original showing of it. I'm gonna tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I actually enjoyed it. First and foremost, Batman with Ben Affleck. I really love that he gives more of a portrayal of Bruce Wayne as opposed to just putting all the focus on Batman, which he does do a good job of being Batman as well. But I feel like everybody puts a focus on Batman. It's always Batman, 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 and people put the portrayal of Bruce Wayne on the back burner. And I feel like that's where Ben Affleck really shines, is putting a spotlight on the identity of Bruce Wayne. Aquaman, I really loved him. I had it in my notes that more scenes made him less of a bro, but by making him less of a bro, it made me like him more. He came off more serious. He comes off as a person that's dealing with a little bit of, I want to say an identity crisis as far as him being half human, half Atlantean and things like that. Wonder Woman. That's another person that I really liked. Everyone had a problem with her, like, high-pitched heavy metal entrance every time she was on the scene, which I didn't have a problem with. I actually liked it. But what was funny was when she would have her action scenes, there were always, I said it in my notes, that she had her own background vocalist. She was always someone singing in the background every time she's about to swing her sword or clash her bracelets together. I was like, every time I saw that, I was like, oh, come on again. So that was interesting. Cyborg, they definitely made him a more well-rounded character with a few extra scenes. We got to see him when he's just a regular football player. His mother's in the stands cheering him on. Right next to her is an empty seat that's meant to be for his father, but of course he never cared about him as a football player. He's always busy at work, and they always had that troublesome relationship, and the link between the two being the mother. And there's gonna be spoilers. So the link between the two being the mother, and when she dies, it's almost a question of, okay, how do these two bond without her in the middle? So I really like what they did with him. And honestly, after watching this, I'm more interested in a solo Cyborg movie than I am a solo Flash movie. And speaking of Flash, I really didn't like Flash until the very end of this movie, to be perfectly honest. Too awkward, too on the spectrum. I want to say autistic. I was curious about why they even made him that way. And the whole time I'm watching him, I can't help but be biased to the fact that we currently have another Flash on the CW. They're in the middle of their 7th season. And every time he reacts to something or does something a particular way, even the way he runs, I can't help but have this side-by-side comparison to Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin. I know I'm biased, but that's just the way I felt about it. It was too awkward. I just felt like it just didn't fit. But he does have his redemptive moments definitely at the end, and it kind of pays off, but it took me a while to actually get to like him. I definitely want to make a mention to Superman. They were slick with the advertising, because when they did like the movie posters and things like that, it was always in black and white, and that was to cover up the fact that Superman's gonna be in the black suit the majority of the movie. Like a good 90% of the movie that you see him, he's gonna be in the black suit. And we all knew he was gonna be in the black suit, but we didn't know for the duration of how he's gonna be in that black suit. And he doesn't go into the traditional blue and red until the very end, when they're in like this long epilogue. I liked it overall, but as much as I liked it, it definitely had its flaws. Like, one of the flaws was the length of the movie. It's 4 hours long. That loses a lot of replayability. A lot of times when people are talking about their favorite movies, they're talking about movies that are either less than 2 hours or a little over 2 hours. This one, I can't see people saying that, oh man, I'll watch Zack Snyder's Justice League all the time. I could watch it over and over. It just doesn't seem realistic. Another thing that I had in my notes, what did I have there? I said it was a miscast with Jared Leto. Originally, when this came out, everyone was talking about how so many of his Joker scenes got cut and that it painted a false narrative. But now we get these bonus scenes and it's like, no, it's still just as bad as before. And now he's messed up 2 iterations of Joker. He did Joker in Suicide Squad where he messed up there, and then he messed up the Joker in Justice League. It's like, no more Jared Leto Jokers. That was a miscast. That was a mistake. They should never do it. Just move on. And the third thing I wanted to bring up is that there was no fight with Darkseid. Darkseid did the exact opposite of what Thanos in the Marvel Universe did. Thanos had Ronan the Accuser do his bidding. He failed, and then that's when Thanos said, okay, I'll do it myself, and actually got the job done. In this movie, we have Steppenwolf doing the bidding of Darkseid. He fails, and then Darkseid just says, you know what, I'll think of something else to do. I don't really need it right now. I was like, wow, he don't want that smoke with the Justice League. I was like, it was like, there's literally a scene where he's on one end of a portal, Justice League is on the other end of a portal, and he's just looking at him, and he just says, you know what, I'll go about this another way. Like, it was so funny for him to act all tough and then to find out that he don't want that smoke with the Justice League. That's just hilarious to me. So they had some other interesting things in there as well. The fact that we do get a Green Lantern, not a Green Lantern we know, like Hal Jordan, John Stewart, things like that. We just get a Green Lantern, someone to represent the Corps. We get 2 scenes of Martian Manhunter. I don't know the actor's real name, but I remember him. He's definitely the head of the FBI with the blacklist. Oh yeah, and they definitely name dropped Ryan Shoy, who even I had to look up, honestly. When I heard that name, I was wondering why they name dropping like that. And then I come to find out that, okay, he's head of nanotechnology. He becomes the Atom. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I even took a peek at the Rotten Tomatoes meter, and it's in the good graces of both fans and critics. So, hey, those are my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.